Anna and I are here to show you how you might be able to improve your performance with one simple adjustment to your running. What exactly is cadence?
Running cadence is defined as the total number of steps you take per minute, and it's your running cadence and your stride length that determines your speed.
Having a higher cadence doesn't always mean you're faster though. There's a lot of other factors at play. Anatomy for one. Taller runners tend to have a lower cadence than shorter runners, but aren't always slower.
It's common for runners looking to increase their speed to only think about stride length, trying to take longer strides, but actually this adjustment often leads to over-striding, where you reach out in front of you and bring your heel down in front of your hips.
The higher impact can put more stress on the knees, hips and lower back, which can lead to more joint pain and injury.
A lot of elite athletes have done so much running that they've self-optimized their cadence, but for the rest of us, a slightly higher rate of cadence might be beneficial. Shorter, quicker strides will have your feet landing beneath your hips and therefore your center of mass. This helps to reduce impact on your knees and hips, distributing it throughout your body.
Research from a 2011 study found that runners who increased their cadence by between 5 and 10% from their normal running pace decreased the amount of vertical movement and created less braking force at contact with the ground. Now this essentially means you're wasting less energy moving up and down. So we know what it is. How do we monitor our running cadence?
Well, the good news is you don't need to go into a high-tech fancy lab to work it out. It can be as simple as grabbing a stopwatch and counting how many steps you do per minute. Just make sure that you're on a flat surface, repeat the test at least 3 times for accuracy, and try to run as normally as you can.
If you have a high-tech running watch, these often come with built-in cadence sensors, so the work may already be done for you, and it's just a matter of checking the data. We rounded up a host of running gadgets, most of which measured cadence, so do check out that video too. Now, for years, athletes and amateur runners were told the magic cadence was a rate of 180 SPM, so strides per minute.
This was after famous running coach Jack Daniels analysed the strides of elite runners taking part in the 1984 Olympics. Now, his assessment found that the fastest runners had a cadence between 180 and 200 steps per minute.
After these findings were made public, every runner was advised to aim for a cadence of 180 SPM, regardless of their ability.
Now, unsurprisingly, recent studies have shown that it isn't that simple, and there are a multitude of factors that come into determining an individual's optimal cadence, like height, weight, age, and ability.
The research has now placed the emphasis on the individual rather than chasing one single number. A 2018 study looked at elites in the 100-kilometer World Championships, and whilst they had an average cadence of 182, individually they actually ranged from 155 to 203, which is quite a range.
It's also worth noting that in other studies in elite athletes, it's been shown that the same runner will have different cadences depending on the speed they're running at, with higher cadences for higher speeds. So not only is it not one magical cadence for everybody, it's not even one number for each person.
So rather than looking to hit a certain number, think about whether improving your cadence by between 5 and 10%, as we mentioned earlier, could help with your running performance.
So Rick, now we know what cadence is and we know how to go about finding what our cadence is, but how do we improve it?
Well, on the face of it, it's actually quite simple. Just take smaller steps when you run.
Well, yeah, that's right. So if you take your current base steps per minute and aim to increase it by around 5%. So if you're currently running at around 162 steps per minute, then your goal cadence should be 170 steps per minute.
And it might actually feel a little bit bizarre or almost unnatural at first, but don't worry because your body will actually adapt to it.
Yeah, and the key thing is don't rush it. Soon you'll be able to get there without even thinking about it.
Tip 1, make sure you focus on smaller steps, not on running faster. The speed will come. The priority is getting your body used to taking those smaller steps. If you have access to one, a treadmill can be an ideal place to get used to your new pace. You can even use a mirror or your phone to look at how you're running.
Tip 2, think about starting with shorter efforts. Maybe practice some 100-meter strides with a really exaggerated high cadence to get your body and mind away from what's normal for you. Now remember, for your normal runs, you're only thinking about a 5 to 10% difference, but doing these strides could help to kickstart the change.
Tip 3, Try workout sessions that are specifically designed for a higher cadence rate. For example, sprints or strides down a very slight incline. This forces your muscles to work faster and adapt. Focus on making contact with the ground underneath your body and not reaching out in front of you. Otherwise, you risk extra impact.
Tip 4. Think about your arms. Ultimately, your arms drive your legs, so focusing on actively driving your arms can increase your cadence. Whilst you're doing this, do a full body form check too. Stay nice and tall, keep your hips up, don't sink down when you're running.
Run to a beat. Now this could be as simple as a metronome app that you can download onto your phone, or a similar feature on your watch that you can have through your headphones. With some metronome apps, you can even have it on in the background while you listen to a podcast, so you don't have to actively think about it at all.
So there you have it. Isn't just about achieving a faster speed, but can also help prevent injury.
Let us know in the comments how you get on improving your own cadence, and we'll see you next time here on the Running Channel.